Go racing here at Monza. The red lights come on, they go out straight away, and it looks like a decent start for Rosenqvist. Trying to go with him is Ferrucci, and Lance Stroll looks like he's made a lightning start as well, and he could be in third place by the time they get to the first chicane here. There is Rosenqvist leading. Ferrucci's got the inside line to the chicane. Sorry, that was off the line, so contact there between two cars, and one, the front left wheel missing, so car stalling off the line then. And getting hit. That was that move from Callum Ilott there, squeezing past Sette Câmara, but then running wide and losing his exit speed. And then Dorian Baccalacci and Sam McLeod going off together into the gravel trap there for sports drivers. And that was a big smash there, running over the back of another car for Sette Câmara. Oof, and that was pretty nasty. He almost flipped over his own debris as well then. Motorsport cars just behind that. Make his way up the order, running wheel to wheel with George Russell. Here is another replay. Oh, that was Callum Ilott just clipping the front right wheel of the Motorsport car of Maximilian Gunther. I'm surprised if Gunther gets away with that. It was a fairly hefty hit. That was why Callum Ilott went off into the gravel. Did he hit the barriers? I think he just about scooped it back together. And onto the grass at high speed. That is going to be a properly bouncy ride there for the number 8 car of Alessio Lorandi. He recovered it beautifully though, didn't he? A bit of a scare for Fabian Schiller, the West-Tech driver just behind him. Giovinazzi hangs on to it. Leclerc tucked in behind him. George Russell in the blue Carling car gained ground on them as a result of that. Here's a replay, which probably means an incident. Indeed so. Oh dear, it's Lorandi again with his second spin of the race. This time it's at one of the chicanes rather than down the straight. So 1 minute 45 for the leader, Rosenqvist, 1:44.7 for Jensen chasing him. Here's a replay, and there's some contact, and that was Fabian Schiller, number 11, trying to overtake. I was talking about Nabil Jeffrey there. He is in the number 22 car. He was the one that got clipped as Schiller, the German driver, tried to come past. Charles Leclerc is drawing alongside the championship leader, so they're wheel to wheel, and just ahead Jake Dennis is drawing alongside, and he's got through. Another lock up there in the front right for Santino Ferrucci, and he makes contact with the back of Jake Dennis, and he goes off, and he's got damage to the front right suspension. The wheel is adrift, and that is a real sad way to end what was otherwise a very impressive race for Santino Ferrucci. So the American out. Not too many high-speed corners. Hard on the brakes, of course, as well, all these chicanes. This is the moment where Jensen got alongside Rosenqvist, almost alongside him, and you see a bit of bodywork flying off, so there was a tiny bit of contact there, I would say. Onto the back of Rosenqvist's car. Yeah, there was a little nudge. Didn't spot that first time around. It was very slight. More aero, and it's getting used to how you can get out of the corners, as contact there between Raghunathan and Ilott. And in the number 33 car, Mahaveer Raghunathan ends up in the barriers. I think he'll be okay, but he'll be out of the race. Looked like he was trying to go around the outside of Callum Ilott there and make contact with the British driver, who did well not to get into a spin and into the gravel trap himself. Russell Mezzano rounding out the top 10. Arjun Miney's just outside the top 10. He's come up to 11th place now. A real tight shot there of that battle with Giovinazzi, and Stroll weaving this way then. That is Jake Dennis. He's got a bit of freedom now because there's nobody right behind him. There's contact, Giovinazzi there, and that's Lance Stroll. That has gone off as we go into the final lap of the race. Stroll out of 6th place into a spin. There was contact between them. He's had a decent start, but Jake Dennis comes alongside him. There's a bit of wheel banging between them. Damaged front left wheel to Charles Leclerc. There was 2 bits of contact there, one through the first part of the first chicane and one through the second part of it between Dennis and Leclerc. And Dennis has got through to 2nd place, but Charles Leclerc pulls off in the background with a problem, and there's another bit of contact there in at the background, and that looks like Tatiana Calderón, who's had a full 360 there. There was contact with another car. By the time we got through the first chicane, and then more incidents further back, 1 or 2 missing the chicane, and then Tatiana Calderón got a big hit there, a big impact, and just trying to work out which car that was that hit her, Calderón. Giovinazzi there, you can see, was already trying to fight back at him. There is the number 11 car of Fabian Schiller, which has made very good progress from 15th on the grid, and a huge crash there, barrel rolling over. That's absolutely massive, and it's Lance Stroll. Now, we saw the start of that incident. Stroll got the move on Giovinazzi into the chicane. Looked like Giovinazzi was coming back at him on the way out of the corner, but that is a massive crash. Look in the background there, wheel to wheel. He's got his nose in front of Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi's almost got a wheel on the grass and then just loses grip, spears into the side of Stroll, and Stroll is just a passenger. And happily, the car landed the right way up the barriers. Câmara launched up into the air. This was then Gunther over the curbs as he was squeezed. He had no choice really but to go over the curbs, and they're so high there, so razor sharp, that the car bottomed out and he was sent into the spin. Buckle actually trying to squeeze up the inside, just sort of shouldering him out of the way, and then the curbs did the rest of the damage. Then in the background, if the camera stays on it long enough, you might see another car going off into the barriers as well. Gunther holding tight there, hoping nobody went into the side of him. So don't count him out just yet. There is a better view of the Beretta incident, and that again was contact with wheels. Oh, he actually rolled over. Now, we didn't see that from the other angle. We just saw the car, what ended up in the barriers. We didn't see how he got to the barriers. And here will be a replay of Matt Rowe's demise. I think it was Lorandi that hit the back of, and then Callum Ilott was going through the chicane as well with damage to the car. And I think there were separate incidents, actually. Yeah, Ilott just went off on his own. And was it Nicholas Pola that Matt Rowe hit? No, it was Lorandi. It was Lorandi who was behind. So Matt Rowe ending the race there and then. And also off was number 33, Mahaveer Raghunathan, into the gravel. It was all looking a bit glum for him after contact and a call to the stewards at the end of race number 1. As they charge down towards the first chicane, and Leclerc is going to have a go around the outside for the lead of the race here. He's had a terrible weekend so far by his very high standards. Can he get through? Oh, goodness me, there's another car up in the air there. It's one of the Jagonia IAM cars from the middle of the pack, which has flown up in the air. Contact with the back of another car, so all the warnings, all the reprimands, and the late night with the stewards last night didn't quite sink in. Now, here's a replay, and safety car is being deployed, and indeed it was Ryan Sette who ran into the back of one of the Westet cars and rode over the wheels and got flicked up into the air. Never really got to the point where you worried it might flip over. Oh, pushing out wide one of the Muka Motorsport cars there, this battle, and in the tail end of the top 10. George Russell likes all of that because it slows them up and it allows him to get in on the act. So it's Mikkel, Jensen and Lance Stroll that were pushing each other out wide. George Russell has nicked a place or two as a result of that in the dark blue Carlin Motorsport car. And just ahead, another lockup. That's Gustavo Menezes at the inside there of Brandon Mazzano, trying to squeeze position, bumping all over the curbs because he's running out of space. Then is George Russell, and a broken suspension, broken left side for number 27, Mikkel Jensen, who comes together. But the rumour is that there were braking problems with the Muka Motorsport car, which are now resolved and is much quicker. So riding over the back of Lance Stroll, who's really been in the wars this weekend, that's an understatement. And there is no sign that that safety car is going to disappear and get underway again. So, as I say, it says on the screen, safety car, race under investigation, which I've never seen before. And it's also come through on the headset to me that they're going to do another 3 laps, including the one they're on behind the safety car. Then they're going to stop it, red flag it. And there you go, red flags. So whether that will be that or whether they'll all get another talking to and get going again remains to be seen. But red flag for now. Right, there's confirmation. Race is going to be stopped and it's not going to be restarted. So that's a real shame, a real anticlimax for us all, particularly for the front runners, you have to say, because they're the ones that have not been involved in any of these incidents. The incidents have all been midfield and further down. The guys at the front, Rosenqvist, Dennis, Leclerc, have been driving absolutely fine, and you know they're going to be penalised, and they're not going to get their race now. They're not going to get full whack of points, and that again will be more frustrating to the Prema Power Team duo of Felix Rosenqvist and Jake Dennis. Onto the podium for the first time this weekend is Charles Leclerc, 3rd place for him, so not satisfactory by his standards, but at least a better end to the weekend than the way it ended yesterday afternoon.